On a cold winter night, a dark office remains silent. Ebenezer Scrooge works there, a man whose heart is as cold as the wind that shakes the windows. A few steps away from him, hunched over a small desk, sits Bob Cratchit, his devoted employee. For Scrooge, Christmas is not a cause for joy, but an unnecessary distraction that only interrupts his routine and the numbers he cherishes so much. Later, Scrooge walks home along a street dimly lit by gas lamps. The wind whistles between the buildings, extinguishing the lights one by one, as if the night were trying to hide a secret. The old merchant's footsteps echo in the solitude, and in the shadows, a distant moan seems to follow him, something that does not belong to the wind or the city, something that awaits him in the darkness. When he arrives home, darkness envelops him. Suddenly, the silence is broken by the sound of chains dragging. Scrooge remains motionless as the moans grow louder. Ebenezer. The spirit of his former partner, Jacob Marley, appears before him, carrying the weight of his own life of greed. Marley warns Scrooge that he still has a chance to change, that tonight he will be visited by 3 spirits who will show him the truth. The first spirit emerges gently from the light, an ethereal, glowing figure whose brightness changes like a vivid memory. Without uttering a word, his gaze causes the world to dissolve, and Scrooge is transported to his past. He sees himself as a lonely child, spending Christmas among books and work. The spirit shows Scrooge that not everything was sadness. The memory of his little sister Fanny appears, who always waited for him cheerfully to play in the snow and remind him that he was still loved. The image fades and new memories emerge. The warmth of the kind Fezziwig's parties, full of music and laughter. Finally, Scrooge relives the farewell of his fiancée, tired of his love of money. It is a journey of nostalgia and losses that still hurt his heart. The second spirit arrives, enveloped in a wave of warmth. His figure is large and cheerful, wearing a loose-fitting robe reminiscent of Christmas celebrations and abundance. His laughter can be heard even before he fully appears, and a green and gold light illuminates the surroundings as if it were a home full of life. Scrooge feels the room expand around this benevolent being, almost as if Christmas itself had taken shape. With a kind gesture, the spirit shows him humble homes, but ones filled with love and gratitude. Among them, the Cratchit family celebrates Christmas with enthusiasm, even with limited resources. Scrooge observes the fragility of little Tim, and the spirit makes him understand that if the future does not change, the child will not survive. The contrast between his empty wealth and the simple joy of that family begins to sow doubts in his heart. Scrooge runs into the street, trying to escape those visions. Everything is plunged into deep silence. The third spirit, a tall shadow wrapped in a dark cloak, emerges from the darkness. Its presence has no face and no voice. Only an elongated hand emerges from the darkness to point the way. Without saying a word, the spirit leads Scrooge into a cold and desolate future. He shows him the small village cemetery, where, among the gravestones, Scrooge contemplates the sincere grief of the Cratchits. Then, distant thunder illuminates another gravestone. The spirit points to it with a slow and steady gesture. Scrooge sees his own name engraved on the stone. At this sight, the spirit remains still, as if the darkness itself were giving him time to understand the gravity of his fate. But the vision fades like a bad dream. Scrooge wakes up in his room, his heart beating with a new emotion: hope. Daylight enters through the window, and for the first time in many years, he feels a genuine desire to change.